CJ in Nashville next up on 3HL. Hey, CJ, what's going on?
Hey, let me put a reality.
Oh, I thought this was the running back.
I think everybody's got their heads in the clouds here and dreaming Peyton land. If Bud Adams is such a, devoted to this team, why doesn't he sign his own free agents? Why doesn't he sign Cortland Finnegan? That's the right thing to do. And the thing that really got me about this is when Bud Adams says, well, I'm willing to make a competitive offer. That's not the way that you go after this thing. You go after this thing as, we want this guy with all got, we're going to outbid, we're going to outdo, we're going to outsell, we're going to go after it. And I give this less than 1% of a chance, because Peyton, in his heart, he loves Tennessee. He'd love to do it. But when he opens up his eyes and uses his head, he's going to realize this is the wrong choice, because he's not going to want to.
Wait. You said competitive offer? That's not what I read.
Here's what Bud Adams said.
No, here's the quote. I will be upset if I didn't get him. I want him. I'm ready to do what it takes to get him aboard, and I think he'd be the guy to get us in the playoffs. He talks about giving him, let me find the quote.
I think he's talking about what they offered Cortland Finnegan. Is that what you're talking about there?
Well, with Finnegan, you're overpaying. That's the first time we've had to dump somebody in a long time.
Man, I don't recall us dumping anybody really like that.
Wow.
For those, and you didn't hear it unless you're on hold. If you're on hold, you heard what that guy just said, and he just blew down 2 F-bombs, but we had to get rid of that. So anyway.
Oh, because we're talking about signing Peyton Manning?
I want to sit down with him and show him what we'd be willing to pay. If he'd come meet with me, he would be happy with what he would get.
I knew from the moment that guy started talking, if you string together several ludicrous positions, first of all, Cortland Finnegan doesn't make this team a Super Bowl team. We know exactly what Cortland Finnegan does, because they re-signed him. He would be the exact same player pretty much that he was last year.
They were 9-7.
Yeah, 9-17. Secondly, he said they have a 1% chance. If there's only 2 or 3 teams being mentioned, I haven't seen any other owner talk about anywhere near the commitment that Bud Adams has shown to Peyton Manning. But even at its worst, that would mean the Titans have a 1 in 3 chance. That guy's just angry at life. Joe Adams
there are lots of people that are angry at life.
Well, I mean, he was talking.
I like having my head in the clouds,
re-signing players, and I think hats off to the Titans is they letting players go pretty much hit a home run every time, not re-signing players. As much as Cortland Finnegan has done in the community and as a player, I think this is probably the right move, because they're doing Cortland Finnegan a favor by letting him go on the market. He's going to get the $10 million if they don't want to pay him, because they don't value him paying him that much.
Clay, I just keep thinking about that guy. Blaine and I were talking during the break. Number one, it didn't go across the air. It did go on the internet. It did. It was heard by people on hold, and people were tweeting about it. But I just kept thinking, if that guy's so angry about this situation, what if something like really bad happens in his life?
If you drop double F-bombs on a sports talk radio show about whether or not they should sign Peyton Manning, you have serious psychological issues in your life.
I think he was more upset. I think he was more upset that they didn't go after Cortland Finnegan, honestly.
That's even scarier. The guy is clearly certifiably insane. I mean, he's got major psychological issues. There's no doubt at all.
Well, that could have been, his, stepbrother or his stalker or somebody on that line. Because
maybe he just lost,
That was ridiculous.
Maybe he was just really affected by the time change.
Well, it says something when we could have been on. Yeah, it's a time change. It says something. Well, that would have still been, it would have been on during the show. He didn't miss it by 8 hours. It says something when you can be so outside the pale of acceptable conduct. And we've been on the air for 2.5 years now? And I can't even think of a guy who's been remotely close to that in 2.5 years.
His tone was, ooh, man.
I could tell as soon as he started that there was something wrong with him. Can we call the double F-bomb from the caller earlier the first sign of Peyton Manning hysteria hitting in Nashville? Like, people have just lost control of their wits, sanity, even sometimes in a positive way, sometimes in a negative way.
I'm just hoping that guy was sitting in in a quiet cube world, and he just blew down 2 F-bombs.
You know how hard it is to stun me. I was sitting on my phone. I was like, "Did I really hear that?" It's like when that in the Wedding Singer, when you're, when they're dancing on the stage or whatever, and the singer starts dropping F-bombs in the song, like "I'll love you now more." Everybody starts standing around like, "Did I really hear that?" I was like, "Wow, this is unprecedented."
This This is one of those songs you just put in, like, if you have a big moment coming up that day, you put this in, get you pumped up.
Yeah, this
Understand
is one
what's
of my
important.
favorite songs right here. I like this song, the beat.
Plus, here's the other thing about this song. There were only 3 cuss words in the song.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually listen to this song with your kids in the car if you properly mute. Now, don't miss, because then you'll have that dude that dropped the double F-bombs coming at you.
Nah, you definitely don't want that to happen.
Is that a good illustration of Peyton Manning hysteria has hit Nashville?
I don't know. Somebody
Guy just calls it crazy to the radio.
No, you know what? Did somebody tweet that to you? They said it sound awful like they sound like Hasselbeck.
No, Matt Hasselbeck would not pull a Randy Moss. Oh, man. Christopher on Twitter, who would have ever believed it would be the mayor getting F-bombed and not Clay? Hashtag epic. Passion, baby, passion.